Wrath of Rakshasa is a new for 2025 roller coaster coming to Six Flags Great America. This will be a record-breaking Balzer and Mabillard dive coaster. This one will claim two notable records for dive coasters: steepest drop and most inversions. This is a highly popular model, and this looks to have a really strong layout. In this video, I will analyze this new addition in terms of fit and elements. First off, I want to applaud Great America for an excellent teaser campaign. In a day and age where many coasters are spoiled through leaks, the park kept this coaster under wraps until announcement day. Many enthusiasts suspected it would be a dive coaster, but that was based off of Six Flags Fiesta Texas's recent edition of Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger and the clues provided by the park. The teaser process heavily involved Demon, the park's nearly 50-year-old aero looping coaster. There were some concerns this aging ride would be removed, especially given its lengthy closures the past few years, but fortunately, Demon is safe for now. The reason for Demon's involvement is due to the theme and location for Wrath of Rakshasa. Rakshasas are malevolent beings from Hindu mythology. I had to look that up, and I imagine a lot of people are unsure what they are, so I hope the park has some sort of theming to educate people. Fiesta Texas did that with Dr. Diabolical by having not one, but two pre-shows. This was an awesome touch, but that park always goes above and beyond the other parks in the chain when it comes to theming. However, from the concept art, there does not look to be any theming for Rakshasa. There are no props or structures along the layout, which is a bit of a bummer. So many dive coasters feature a tunnel after the signature drop, and these really add to the experience. That I do not see a themed structure adjacent to the station that would be needed for a pre-show. The ride's station and second half will be located on the plot of land formerly home to Buccaneer Battle. This was the park's mock splash battle that closed in 2022. This is directly across from Demon. I'm really impressed B&M was able to fit the rest of the layout around the park without removing anything else. The lift hill will run alongside Hometown Park, where you have a small cluster of kiddie rides. You will then turn slightly left. The drop in Immelman will be positioned between Lobster and Demon's Lift Hill. The dive loop is positioned directly over the midway, before heading towards the Buccaneer Battle plot. And I think this ride will look fantastic. Great America already has a really impressive skyline, and this will become the park's third tallest coaster, just behind Raging Bull and Flash Vertical Velocity, and it has a color palette not currently used at the park. It will have blue track and yellowish supports. Great America has a really deep coaster lineup. They currently have 15 different roller coasters, covering a wide range of genres. Their last new coaster was Max Force in 2019, and given this park's high attendance, it is not too surprising they got a big new coaster for 2025. 6 years is the longest gap this park has gone without a new coaster since the 1990s. This will be the park's fifth roller coaster from Balzer and Mabillard, tying both Six Flags Great Adventure and SeaWorld Orlando for the most coasters from the Swiss manufacturer. This will be the second dive coaster in the Midwest, with the other one being Valravn at Cedar Point. That park and coaster are roughly 6 hours away from Great America, so for many, Rakshasa will be an all-new coaster type. And general parkgoers absolutely love this type of coaster. The tall, super steep plunge and holding brake really pique interest. So I suspect this ride will draw high crowds and immediately become one of the park's busiest rides. This coaster will have 3 trains, each seating up to 21 riders. Each train will have 3 rows, seating 7 riders across. While this coaster does not have a mid-course brake run, I believe the ride will be able to operate with all 3 trains at once. From the concept art, there are 2 sets of brake runs at the end. There are 2 approaches the park could use. Approach 1 is to have the initial set of brakes decelerate the train, but not stop it during normal operation. This serves as a block zone. The train would then slowly continue to the next set of brakes, where it would park until the station is clear. Given how short the trains are on a dive coaster, I believe that final brake run could comfortably accommodate 2 trains. This is a similar approach to what B&M has done in their Giga Coasters and newer Hypercoasters. El Toro Ryan is a great video explaining this concept. Approach 2 is to have each brake run at the end hold its own train. The con with this approach is that the trains will move slowly between block zones, because the trains have lost all momentum by this point. So with fast operations, this coaster could have a really high throughput. There are 2 factors that could impact this. 1. Loose articles. All the coasters currently at Great America allow guests to store their loose articles off to the side, and not every guest does this with a sense of urgency. That is why I'm wondering if this coaster will implement free double-sided lockers at the end of the queue. Dr. Diabolical opened with this, and El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure recently received these. These really help speed up operations because guests can go directly to their seats. 2. How fast can the employees check the restraints? Some crews at this park move lightning quick. The best example is the Raging Bull crew. They never stack trains. Others don't move quite as fast. I'm hoping this ride gets an efficient crew, especially in the ride's opening year, because I suspect this will draw high crowds between the newness and expected popularity. The restraints are not too complicated. They are overhead vest restraints, which have been used in all the newer dive coasters. Then you have a redundant seatbelt on the outside. These are nearly identical to the restraints featured in the park's very own X-Flight. You have a thick bar across your lap, and a soft vest that contours your torso. One key change from X-Flight though. That was one of the first rides to feature B&M's vest restraints. The early vests locked and had no upward give. This severely restricted forces, and worse, put a lot of pressure on your collarbones. The new vests have some flexibility, and they can stretch during the coaster, which improves sensations and guest comfort. I know so many enthusiasts prefer the old over-the-shoulder harnesses on dive coasters specifically. Those were ratcheting restraints, so it was more likely you'd have a small gap between your restraint and body once fully lowered. The vest harnesses are hydraulically lowered, and they can be pressed snug against your body. But I still get similar airtime because the vests have that flexibility, and they eliminate the possibility of headbanging. Now, I'd like to think that would not be an issue anyway because we're talking about a B&M dive coaster. B&M is a premier manufacturer, most commonly known for making smooth rides. Just look at how coasters like Batman the Ride and Superman Ultimate Flight are still really smooth, even after decades of operation, and their dive coasters are usually one of their smoothest models. However, a few of their recent coasters have opened with a rattle. I specifically want to look at their newest dive coasters. Dr. Diabolical has some shaking during spots of high positive Gs, and a weird jolt exiting the 0G roll, but overall it's tolerable for me. Iron Menace at Dorney Park opened just this year, and is the roughest of all the dive coasters. I know this ride has given quite a few people headaches, although I was personally fine. It shakes noticeably more than Dr. Diabolical, and it has this really bad jolt entering the brake run. I'm hoping B&M can make this as smooth as their older dive coasters, but we will see what happens. If this happens to be rough, I recommend sitting in one of the inside 3 seats. These seats are still fairly smooth, even on Iron Menace. The outside 2 seats on each side more prominently feature the rattle, because they are cantilevered. But we need to see if Great America will even allow seat selection on this coaster. Their newest coaster in Max Force operates with assigned seating, although they usually honor row requests. With dive coasters, many guests understandably want the front row for that unobstructed view if they're given the chance, although I typically like these coasters a bit better in the back, because the drop is even better airtime there. Now let's move on to the layout. The coaster begins by turning out of the station and ascending a 180-foot or 55-meter tall lift hill. This should offer some nice views of the park given its location. At the top, you have a gradual leftward turn, positioning you towards Raging Bull's first turnaround. You will then slowly roll over the crest, hitting that holding brake. You are then held there, staring directly at the ground for a few seconds. The visual is most effective on the front row, between the greater angle and the lack of obstructions, but it's suspenseful in any row because of the looming plunge. That drop should be the highlight of the ride for many. It will feature the steepest drop of any B&M dive coaster at 96 degrees, which is 1 degree steeper than the aforementioned Iron Menace and Dr. Diabolical's Cliffhanger. This was possible with Rakshasa's added height. Hopefully this makes the airtime stronger than usual. Most dive coasters with vertical drops offer plentiful floater airtime. That was the case with Iron Menace as well. On Dr. Diabolical, the drop offered stronger airtime than the threshold of Flagector. I'm hoping Rakshasa's drop is more like this one. The pullout should subject riders to high positive Gs, and those should continue into the first inversion in Immelmann. This follows the drop in almost every B&M dive coaster, and it didn't change here. Next is a dive loop. This is a rare element for this model. I believe the only other instance is the one on Valravn. This should ride like the inverse of the Immelmann, instead applying the strong Gs in the exit. This leads to my most anticipated inversion, a funky 0G roll. The start is profiled normally, and it should offer some float, but the exit is super compact and morphs directly into a downwards helix. I suspect this will lead to some really nice whip and laterals as you rapidly twist out of it. This could ride similarly to the step-up underflips and RMC hybrids. Next is a corkscrew. It looks fairly elongated, so it should offer some hang time at the apex. You then twist directly into a barrel roll underneath that corkscrew. This should offer an even stronger dose of hang time, although given how low to the ground it is, the entry could have some surprising snap to it. These two elements back to back remind me of the demonic knot on Flug der Damen at Heide Park in Germany. The difference here is that that was a wing coaster, and the shaping is a bit different. This coaster then finishes with one last turn and a helix. The park has not released a full POV, and their off-ride footage stops at this point, so it's hard to tell if the train will have good speed here. That will make or break whether these elements have nice force or are just filler. You then hit the brake run and return to the station, ending the 3,239 foot or 987 meter long coaster. That makes it one of the longer dive coasters anyway, but it's easily the longest not to feature a mid-course brake run. Great America is often made fun of for having short coasters, but the length of this ride is more than satisfactory, especially given the genre. And this ride looks to have really good pacing. The coaster should quickly move from element to element with no dead space. After the drop, you have 5 inversions in a row. The ones early in the ride should offer high positive Gs, while the ones later in the ride should lift you out of your seat. The only question for me is whether that final helix adds to the experience, but I would like to think the coaster still has enough speed at that point to make it interesting. My early guess is that this will become my 4th favorite coaster at the park. I think I will still prefer Max Force, Raging Bull, and Goliath to Rakshasa, but it no doubt should be one of the park's best rides, and I could see many parkgoers picking it as their favorite. As for how this will compare to the other dive coasters, this potentially could be the best one. If the inversions all deliver nice forces, and this ride manages to be smooth, this could beat out Yukon Striker Canada's Wonderland for me. This coaster appears to offer the best mix of inversions and the strongest pacing of any dive coaster, which is why I'm looking forward to it so much. Now I need to bring up this ride's opening date. Six Flags has really struggled to open their new coasters on time in recent years. The chain was supposed to add 3 new coasters for the 2024 season. Bobcat at Great Escape opened at a reasonable time in late May, but construction for both Georgia Surfer at Six Flags Over Georgia and Flash Vertical Velocity at Six Flags Great Adventure started really late. This ultimately led to both coasters being delayed to 2025, but it wasn't just this year. All of the chain's new for 2023 roller coasters did not open until the fall. Six Flags Magic Mountain's West Coast Racers was supposed to open in 2019, but it did not open until 2020. Six Flags Discovery Kingdom Sidewinder Safari was delayed from 2020 to 2022, and Six Flags Over Texas's Aquaman Power Wave was delayed from 2020 all the way to 2023. That one was ridiculous. This is very frustrating for people who purchase a season pass specifically for these new rides. So if your main reason for buying a season pass is for Wrath of Rakshasa, I would maybe wait until the spring to see how the ride's construction is coming along. I am optimistic this ride will open by summer though. 1. Six Flags Great America is a nice long off season. This allows crews to get in there without disrupting any day guests. 2. Six Flags recently merged with Cedar Fair, and the latter is usually good at having their attractions ready for opening day. So time will tell how quickly this ride is erected. So those are my thoughts on Wrath of Rakshasa, the new coaster coming to Six Flags Great America, hopefully in 2025. What are your thoughts on this coaster? Do you think it could be the best dive coaster? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this analysis video, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.